I'm so nervous. I've tried to start this about 5 different times. I'm just gonna get right into it. I am 22 weeks pregnant. It's Sunday, October 14th, 2018, and I'm having a little baby boy. And I kind of just want to make these vlogs to look back on or share with my family members and friends if they want to watch them. I've always wanted to be a mom ever since I can remember. I was always stuffing my shirt to pretend I was pregnant, or, you know, when I would play by myself, I would, you know, have 2 babies on each hip, and I'd pretend like I'm dropping them off at soccer or going to the grocery store or picking them up from school. I got married on May 12th, 2018 to my best friend Anthony. We told everybody that we wanted kids right away, like we want 5 kids. Since I've wanted to be a mom for so long, I was always worried that it wouldn't happen for me. You know, there weren't any bad signs that I wouldn't be able to carry a child and have a child. Like, my mom had 2 children, no problem. But I was always worried that it wouldn't happen for me because I wanted it so bad. When my husband and I got married, we tried right away, and 2 weeks after we got married, I went and found a gynecologist just to make sure, like, to have like a regular checkup and just see if everything was working fine. And I took a pregnancy test while I was there, and it was negative, and I was sad about it. The people that were around me that had children were like, you know, it takes some time, so don't be shocked if it doesn't happen right away. Or don't be disappointed if it doesn't happen right away. But obviously, I was disappointed because I wanted a baby so bad. So another 2 weeks go by after the gynecologist appointment, and it's my husband's birthday weekend, and his parents had rented a boat, and we were going to go out fishing and drinking on the boat and swimming in the lake and stuff. And I was like, I'm just going to take a pregnancy test just to make sure I'm not pregnant for the weekend. You know, I know it's going to be negative. I kept telling myself I know it's going to be negative, but I just want to make sure. Mind you, this is a month after we got married. A month and it's snowing. Okay, this was a month and 5 days? No, a month and 3 days after we got married. So I just wanted to make sure I wasn't pregnant. The first test I took, I peed on the stick like the instructions say. You know, you hold it down at an angle, and I peed on the stick. And I put the cap on, put it down by the sink. And I was like looking at it, like just like looking at it with my feet, like twiddling my fingers, like, oh my god, okay. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see what it says, even though I know it's gonna be negative. Don't get too excited. Like, you can see your pee running through the little window, and it instantly popped up as 2 lines, which means pregnant. And I looked at it and I was like, wait a minute. Wait, that can't be right. And I'm like yelling through the door down to Anthony, through the bathroom door down to Anthony. I'm like, it says pregnant! I was having, I guess, pregnancy symptoms that I didn't know of. Like, I was tired, I was peeing a lot, but I thought that was just me. I came out of the bathroom, I was like, Anthony, I'm pregnant. And he goes, cool. So that's how I found out I was pregnant, and that's how I told my husband. It wasn't like a little present, like, you're gonna be a daddy. Leading up to that pregnancy test, though, this is gonna be TMI. Before I was pregnant, when I got my period, I would spot brown blood about a week or like 3 or 4 days before I'd actually start my period. I was doing that in between when we got married and I took the pregnancy test. So I thought that, I was like, I'm not pregnant. I can't be pregnant because my period's coming. It's coming. It's going to be next week or in a couple days. And I was like waiting for it. And then once I took that test, I was just so excited that I forgot about how I was spotting. And then like after I took the test, I was like talking to my husband, and I was like, oh, maybe it's like a false positive. Because I was like Googling things. I was like, oh, you know, can you be spotting and like pregnant and all this other stuff. And then I kept seeing comments on like, I was spotting, then I had a miscarriage, I was going through a miscarriage. like the test was a false positive, and like all these negative, like I was just like, I'm not pregnant. Like I didn't really know if I was pregnant yet. You know, because you need that confirmation from your gynecologist, or I needed that yes, you are pregnant from a doctor to really say I was pregnant. Anyways, I called the nurse and she said, oh, that's something that's called like implantation bleeding. According to the nurse, she was saying an account from the first day of my last period, which was the day after we got married. So I was technically 5 weeks. So I was 5 weeks with implantation bleeding, thinking that I wasn't really pregnant or that I was losing the baby, or I just had all these things going through my mind. Like, you know, obviously I'd never been pregnant before, so I had so many questions and so many concerns, and I'm a worrywart anyways, so I was just constantly worrying. And I Googled implantation bleeding, and, you know, it's a lot of people said that they had it, and now they had their beautiful baby girl or baby boy with them, and, you know, and then other people were saying, yeah, I miscarried the next week, blah, blah, blah. So it was a very scary time. I had to wait 3 more weeks until I went to get an ultrasound to, like, say, you know, you are pregnant. So it was a very scary 3 weeks. But eventually my implantation bleeding stopped after about, I don't even remember, probably a month after I found out I was pregnant. My dog hears somebody. But after that was done, it was smooth sailing. Like, I just was tired a lot. I was really thirsty. My first craving was I wanted a Big Mac with tomatoes on it. I don't know, I really didn't really have that many cravings, and I couldn't really tell if it was because I was pregnant or just because I wanted it, because I just love food. Then, around, I think it was August, my allergies got really bad. And then I had congestion while I was pregnant. So my allergies with the pregnancy combined, it was terrible. I could barely sleep. I had a mound of used tissues next to my bed. Eventually, my allergies died down after about another month. My allergies died down, and I still have congestion. Like, I still have to blow my nose at night. Sometimes I can only breathe out of one nostril. But it's doable. So on top of having congestion, I also got shingles, which I thought, it just started out looking like a rash, like under my armpit, on the side of my boob, and then I had some on my back. And I sent a picture to my aunt who's a nurse. I'm always sending her pictures and asking her questions about my body. And she said it looks like shingles, and I was like, no! I thought only older people got shingles. Like, I didn't know that you could get shingles when you're pregnant. And she explained to me, you know, you get shingles when your immune system is low, and your immune system is low because you're pregnant. So basically I got shingles because I'm pregnant. Anthony ended up taking me to urgent care so that I could get whatever medication that I needed. And so I could actually get a doctor's diagnosis saying that I do have shingles. Ow. We go to urgent care. No one's in there. Thank goodness. It was actually on a holiday, on Memorial Day, and no one was in there yet. So the lady took me, one of the nurses or whoever she was, took me to take my temperature and like get my blood pressure and such. So she put me off to a little room to the side. While I was sitting in that room, someone came in, their water broke, another older gentleman came in complaining of chest pains, and then another younger girl came in saying that she was having an allergic reaction, which she was obviously rushed back because, you know, your throat can close up and other things can come up after having an allergic reaction. And in my mind, I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know what, shingles doesn't sound too bad at this moment. Like, I don't really mind having shingles right now. I'd rather have that than everything else going on out there. So we went back and I got tested, or I didn't get tested, but the doctor like kind of examined me and he was like, yeah, that's shingles, and he asked me a bunch of questions and then he prescribed me medicine. And then I asked him, you know, are we gonna get to see like the baby today? Like, cause you know, I couldn't feel the baby at that point. He was so small. We hadn't really seen him since the last ultrasound and he kind of looked like a little baboon. So we hadn't at that point seen him look like a little baby with like a real, like a round head and like little legs and, you know, arms and stuff. So the doctor said, you know, we don't normally do that, but I can check to see like if we can, the doctor said we don't normally do that, but I can definitely check and see if we can ultrasound, or a ultrasound machine, whatever it's called, in here. So he ended up coming back with the machine and we got to see him, and he was like moving around and he actually looked like a little baby, and that was the first time we actually saw him as a little baby. What? And then after my shingles cleared up, which they did eventually, it kind of felt like smooth sailing from there until I got a little tiny bit bigger and started having hip pain. I'm a stomach sleeper, and now, you know, with my baby in my belly, I can't sleep on my stomach, so I sleep on my left side or my right side. And my sweet sister-in-law bought me a pregnancy pillow, which helped tremendously, but I still have hip pain. I sleep with my pregnancy pillow, a king-size pillow, a normal pillow by my head, and then another pillow to separate my ankles, like my feet. So there's just a lot of pillows going on, and you know, I wake up and I still feel kind of like sore. And lately I've been walking longer distances with my dog Liberty, and that's been helping, but I also probably should stretch and all that good stuff. Enough with the terrible things, which aren't really that terrible. Some women have it way worse than I do, and I'm very thankful that my baby's healthy and that I'm healthy and that whatever I do get is curable with medicine and such. My favorite things about pregnancy so far are feeling him move around and kick. Like, that is the weirdest, most happy feeling that I could ever feel. I thought that pregnancy was going to be different. I didn't know that there was all this other stuff that was involved with it. Like congestion and shingles and implantation, bleeding, like all of that happening in my first and second trimester. It was very frustrating. I almost felt like, you know, I even told my husband, I was like, you know, I thought pregnancy was going to be different. Like, I'm a little tad disappointed, but it did get better. All of that was worth, you know, having this little baby boy, obviously. So that's really it for my 22-week update or first pregnancy vlog. I just really want this to be fun and informational, hopefully, to someone who might watch it, who I don't know. If this, you know, gets out in the YouTube videos. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, so I'll make another, I just scared the crap out of my dog. I'm sorry. Sorry. So I can't wait for week 23 to make another one, and hopefully I'll have more information. Maybe not, I don't know. That's all I have for today, but I'm excited to make another video next week. Bye! I just realized I forgot to do a belly shock. So here's the baby. Oh, you can't really. That's a really bad belly shot. Hold on. If I pull up my shirt, that's him. I was already chunky before I got pregnant, so I feel like I'm bigger than need be. I just realized I took a chunk of hair out of my dog's tail. Oh my god. Liberty, that is a big chunk of hair. Sorry.